You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Finish Strong Friday. It's a Picks Friday. And it is a Winners Friday. What does that mean? Well, finish strong. That's what we all need to do today for our family, so we feel good about what we got done this week while we watch football all weekend long. And then the winners, of course, you guys know how I feel about those of you that go the extra mile. We'll have the picks as well coming up here for each and every game. Week number 13 in the NFL. Man, we got off to a great start last night. Love it when there's an awesome Thursday night game. The Spread the Word winner via social media, Ed Kenshock. I saw that Ed gave Ross Tucker Pod a Facebook review. That's like an easy way to win. Facebook review, Ross Tucker Pod, great way to win. Ed, congratulations. I can't remember if you put in your review or in your email to me your address or what press pass you'd like, so send that to me, ross@rosstucker.com. The sponsor confirmation email winner, I don't even know his last name. It's just Ignacio. That's all I could tell on the email. Ignacio bought himself some Raycon earbuds, and he used our code to do so. Congrats, Ignacio. Love it. Same thing. Email me, ross@rosstucker.com. Need your address and need to know if you have a preferred press pass. Can't guarantee that at all. I just kind of do the best I can. YouTube shout out. This week's winner, Matthew Syvertson. Remember, these are all crazy easy contests to win, by the way, but that's really easy. YouTube.com/RossTuckerNFL. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. And then comment on any video. And really, your best bet is to probably just say, all I'm here for is the shout out, Ross, because I see that, and then you get a chance to win. Email me, Matthew, with who I'm doing the shout out for. Patron of the day, Dan Begley, Begley. Welcome to the family, Dan. Patreon.com/RT Media. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
All right, Ross. DeBron Bland, he has a fever, a bad one. The only prescription was more interceptions. Cowboys win 41-35.
Well, he was getting dusted until he got that interception. It's a good lesson, though, right? It's a good lesson for life. Like, just keep playing. Or in, what's the movie? Dory?
Just keep swimming? Finding Nemo?
Yeah, Finding Nemo. Why am I saying Dory? Isn't there a Dory?
There's a second one that came out like 7 years ago that was called Finding Dory.
Finding Dory.
Yeah, Dory's like the blue one. That's Ellen.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Anyway, if you're DeBron Bland or if you're a football player or really in life, there's so many terms like that. Just keep chopping. Just keep swimming. Whatever. But that's what he did and ended up being the difference in the game, him getting an interception. First of all, and we were talking about this a little bit on social media, Jack, at Ross Tucker NFL, at Ross Tucker Pod. The Seahawks wore those sweet throwbacks, but I was alive when they wore those in the 80s and early 90s, and I don't remember anybody thinking they were sweet back then, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I kind of replied to you, I don't know if you saw. I just think everybody's more appreciative. I mean, I wasn't alive for those, but it's just like all those teams switched to like dark colors, like the Rams, the Eagles, Seahawks, like they all switched like this, even the Bills, like the dark navy, just the dark colors, and people just appreciated the bright, unique color schemes, I think, more like the creamsicles and the Kelly greens and whatnot.
Yeah, I wonder why they all switched to the darker. That must have just been what the style was then?
That's just what every sports team across every league, Sixers, like I feel like there's an example of every sport having that.
Late 90s, they all started to switch to the darker colors.
Yeah. Yeah, like black and like just darker shades, yeah.
Kenneth Walker did not play in the game. He was still out for the Seahawks. There were no punts Like, I'll give you the positives and the negatives. The positives, there were no punts in the entire game. That is incredible. Doesn't happen. I think it was like the 5th game since 1960 or something. That is awesome. Who likes punts other than Iowa fans? Awesome. The downside, way too many flags. I mean, well over 200 yards of penalties. It's just annoying, frustrating. Way, way, way too many flags. Not cool. Anyway, it was a back and forth affair, though. Several lead changes, several times where the one team was up by 2 scores, or I guess in the Seahawks case, up by 8 points. Geno had some amazing throws. He threw a laser beam to DK Metcalf, who, Jack, broke the record for the fastest GPS time this year. I think it was like the fastest GPS time since Raheem Mostert, like in 2020 or something. Something crazy. He's 235 pounds. He was moving. I mean, he is a rare, rare specimen. Dak Prescott played awesome. You know why? Because he's awesome. I mean, he's a really, really good player. I'm so glad, to be honest with you, that he's having this good of a year to shut up so many people that just criticize him all the time. Not everybody can be Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like, he's a top 10 quarterback all day, and this year he's playing like a top 5 quarterback. So the Seahawks were up by 8 twice, including in the 4th quarter, but they couldn't close the deal. You mentioned already, Jack, Bland, he got dusted a bunch. Now, in fairness, a bunch of those were like awesome throws by Geno. The one where he dropped it in the bucket on the sideline, the laser beam for the 73-yard touchdown. I mean, Bland had pretty good coverage on those plays. It was perfect passes by Geno, and Metcalf made the play. I thought Geno played extremely well for the most part, other than that one interception to Bland that we keep referencing, primarily getting the ball to DK a lot, but also JSN and Lockett. Charbonnet hurt his knee late for the Seahawks and was doubtful to return. That's not good, especially with Walker already not playing. I mean, ultimately, the things that jump out to me, Jack, the other things, are that the Seahawks got stopped on 4th down 3 times on their last 3 drives when they had a chance to win it. All within either a field goal or 6 points. Stopped 3 times on 4th down. You'd think one of those they would have been able to come through. And then the other thing is, they earlier in the game, if you remember, they missed a field goal. Myers missed a field goal after they had a delay game. So that comes back to haunt them. It always does. It did in that Black Friday Iowa-Nebraska game. You got to make that field goal. It totally changes the dynamics of the situation late. Now, in that one, Iowa ended up still winning the game, but it changes the dynamics of the situation later in the game. Big win for the Cowboys. A lot of cool events this weekend. I'm actually going to a concert tonight, believe it or not, and you can get the tickets on Game Time. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, even an hour after it starts, which, by the way, is perfect for concerts, not so much, I would say, for sporting events. But my advice, and this is all totally free, get the Game Time app on your phone. Wherever you live, go to your city, Atlanta, Buffalo, I don't care, Harrisburg, Baltimore, whatever, and type your zip code in and see what the closest, you'd be surprised, A, what events are in your area, and B, how inexpensive relatively the tickets are. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ROSS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code ROSS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Want to know which team is going to win every single game on Sunday? Then listen up.
All right, we'll start with my nomination for this week. Somebody's got to win game. We got the Chargers at the Patriots.
Well, and that somebody, I would think, is the Chargers. I'll go with the Chargers. I mean, Justin Herbert against likely Bailey Zappi. That doesn't seem like much of a contest to me. I guess they were saying that Mac Jones wasn't even throwing this week. It's kind of wild that the Chargers are only 5.5-point favorites. I think they win by more than that. I think this Patriots team is donezo. It's hard to fathom how far they have fallen. Let's go Chargers, go. Let's go Chargers. I don't know. I guess the Patriots defense is still decent. 23-13 Chargers.
Next, we've got the Dan Campbell game. The Lions are at the New Orleans Saints.
You love that. You love like combining something somehow. So the real issue for the Saints here is just their injuries, and lots of them, especially at wide receiver. They are thin at that spot. And the Lions, I guess I'll tell you why I like the Lions. I have faith in Dan Campbell and their leaders that they're not going to let a bad loss on Thanksgiving be 2 losses. I think they're going to come out and play much better, come out on fire. They were kind of embarrassed at home to lose that game to the Packers. Meanwhile, the Saints are just so beat up. That's the thing. If you heard Greg Cosell yesterday, the corners are not playing well for Detroit right now. But I don't think the Saints have the wide receivers to really expose them or take advantage of it. So I like Detroit in this game. I think the Saints can keep it close. I think the Saints can hang in for a while. I don't think the Saints will win the game. I'll say 23-20. The Lions win. Maybe even a little bit higher scoring than that. But I would say 23-20. Let's go Lions.
Next, we've got the Atlanta Falcons are at the New York Jets.
Well, this is a game that both teams absolutely need to win, right? If you're the Jets playing at home against the Falcons, you're looking at this and thinking, if we have any hope to stay in this thing, which, by the way, they don't. They don't have any hope. Like, this whole manufactured Aaron Rodgers hope thing is not real. They don't have hope. You got to beat Atlanta. I think Atlanta comes out and wins the game. I like what I've seen from the Falcons, getting Bijan Robinson involved more. You know, as long as Ritter doesn't turn it over, which is very possible that he will, I just feel like the Jets are going to have a tough time stopping Atlanta. I think that Atlanta, I'll be curious if the Jets can stop this Falcons rushing attack, which can be absolutely vicious at times. Give me Atlanta, lower scoring game, probably like 19-16 Falcons.
Next, we've got the Arizona Cardinals are at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Have some Arizona Cardinals news, by the way. And that news is that they granted Zach Ertz his release. Tight end Zach Ertz was granted his release by the Cardinals. Gave up his paycheck for this week. Gives him a chance to get signed somewhere else. He wants to play for a contender, and obviously that's all anybody in Philadelphia is talking about. And I think that that's a possibility. I guess I would submit to you that the Ravens need him more. You know, Goddard's coming back soon. And so then the Eagles will have all their tight ends, whereas Mark Andrews isn't coming back this season. So that's an interesting one if you're Ertz. Do you come back to be a clear number 2? Or they use Stoll as a blocker so much, you're kind of like a number 3 in Philly? And you're just coming back to Philly to kind of be on the team? I don't know how much playing time he would get. Whereas in Baltimore, I don't know. I mean, they might end up feeling like they can trust him more than Isaiah Likely, and he might play a lot. But those are the 2 teams I thought of right away. Although we'll find out today, Jack, if he gets claimed off of waivers. He might not have a choice. You know, if you get cut past the trade deadline, you go on waivers. The other news that I need to talk about, and they don't have a game this week, Von Miller, edge rusher for the Buffalo Bills, A warrant was issued for his arrest in a domestic abuse allegation with a pregnant woman. Von Miller has turned himself in. You know, I guess I always have the same thought on this, which is this is terrible because either this happened and that's awful, or this didn't happen and someone's now, Von Miller's name is now associated with warrant issued for arrest and domestic abuse and all of that stuff. So either way, it's a terrible, terrible thing. I guess the last thing I read maybe this morning, real quick, was that the alleged victim is now saying that it didn't happen. So I don't know. I guess we'll just have to stick to the facts, find out what happens there. As for the Cardinals, I guess I don't have that much hope, Jack, for them to go into Pittsburgh and get this win. I don't really foresee that happening. I'd like to think that they'll play better than they did last game at home against the Rams. I thought they had been competitive for the most part this year. They were totally non-competitive in that game against the Rams, but I still think the Steelers win. Let's go like 23-16, which feels like a blowout for the Steelers. 23-16. Good game, by the way, to order some food. When that game goes to like timeout, it's time to order on DoorDash. When it's halftime, that's ordering time. 2-minute warning, you got it. That's your cue to order in. Get everything you want delivered while you root for your squad. So that means burgers, fries, drinks, you name it. And if you have a Dash Pass membership, you can get the new Wendy's Loaded Nacho Cheeseburger delivered. Yep, right now the Loaded Nacho Cheeseburger is exclusively available with Dash Pass at participating U.S. Wendy's for a limited time. You got to have something to wash it down, by the way, Jack. So you know how I roll. Labatt Blue Lights. Might be taking some Labatt Blue Lights to that concert tonight. Drink some Labatt Blue Lights with your friends. Live life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly beer. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. Yes, by the way, in case you're wondering, this is like the one weekend of the year. Happened last year, too, where I don't call a game. So next week's Army-Navy. Week after that's NFL. Week after that's Eagles on Christmas Day. Week after that, CBS NFL. So, but this is a weekend off.
We got an AFC South battle. We got the Indianapolis Colts at Tennessee Titans.
I like the Colts. They better get this game done, right? I mean, they're right there in the thick of the playoff race, but you got to win games like this. They'll be 7-5 if they get this win. Sounds like it'll be Zach Moss getting the lion's share. I think this is a close, awesome game. I mean, this smells like 1917 to me, Colts all over it. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Titans win, but I'll go 1917 Colts. By the way, Jack, I should have pointed this out. Steelers seem like a pretty good pick to lock them up this week. Although, don't they always lose one game like this every year under Tomlin? One game like at home they absolutely should not and cannot lose, yet they still have a winning record. I'm going to say that this is not the game. I'll give the Steelers my lock of the week if anybody's still in any of those survivor pools. And then I'll say for the Titans, I think they lose 19-17.
Next, we got the Miami Dolphins are at the Washington Commanders.
Miami Dolphins gonna win. So we'll see if the Commanders get a firing Jack Del Rio boost. But even if they do, I don't think that they're going to be able to beat the Dolphins. Dolphins look like they're on a mission right now. They know what's at stake in terms of making sure they lock up the AFC East, as well as they're right there in the mix for the number one seed, if you can believe that. Dolphins still score a bunch of points in this one, but they're starting to drop like flies on D. I'll say 27-20 Dolphins.
Denver Broncos are at the Houston Texans. What do you think of that one? Going to be more interesting game than usual for these two teams.
Absolutely. Can't say I thought a month ago that this would be this big of a game. With I think the winner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The winner will basically, at worst, be tied for a wild card spot. At worst, they'll be tied, which is pretty cool. And this is like, for so many years, it was like the Broncos against the new Broncos because they had the GM down there, Rick Smith, the coach, Gary Kubiak for the Texans for so long. I like the Broncos to keep it rolling. I do. I'm a believer in when a team's on a roll like this, that they can keep it rolling. And they're actually the underdogs in this one, which is a real testament to the Texans and what they've done so far this year. But I'm all over the Broncos, Sean Payton and crew, the veterans on that team, Russell Wilson, to get it done. I think they turn over CJ Stroud multiple times and win this game 22-21 Broncos, and they're underdogs, Jack.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Next, we've got an NFC South battle. The Panthers are at the Bucs.
This could be like the Jets power rankings laugh right now. We could do the Jets power rankings laugh right now. So we'll see if Carolina gets any boost from firing Frank Reich. I tend to doubt it. They got real problems. I'm glad we had Will Brinson on the show this week because they got real problems in Carolina right now. Bucs win, which I don't know. The Bucs are headed towards a 7 or 8 win season. Yay. Like the 7 or 8 win season does nothing for you. You don't win the division. You don't make the playoffs. You don't have a good draft choice. But I guess your fans just like to watch the TV and see their team win the game. I understand that part of it. Bucs, because Mike Evans is unstoppable. Bucs 23, Carolina 13. Wah, wah.
Next, we've got the Battle of the Rams. Cleveland Browns at the Los Angeles Rams.
So I know you love your history, Jack. Well, you know what? I don't want to have to rush later. So let me just say this for real quick. A couple things. Number one, in football, the fourth quarter is where the magic happens. It's where games are won, where champions are made. In business, it's where sales teams become legends. That's why HubSpot built Sales Hub, to give sales reps the deal-making tools they need to win their Q4. Sales Hub's prospecting workspace organizes your schedule, goals, and to-do list in one place to save your team precious fourth quarter time. Smart sequences help sales reps close deals faster than ever. So get ready to dominate Q4 with Sales Hub. Learn more at HubSpot.com/sales. So I got the Rams winning it. Like what they've done the last couple weeks. Not sure. It sounds like it'll be Flacco. Not sure how well he'll play, but on the road, first start, sounds like a Rams win to me. I don't think there'll be that many points, though. 20-18 Rams.
Next, we've got 49ers are at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Should be an awesome game. Hoping for an awesome game. I don't think either team's going to be able to pull away, but if they do, I think it'd be the Niners. You know, I do those Ross reports every morning for social media just because I do so much media stuff in the Philadelphia area. And I think the Niners are going to win the game. I think it's a really bad spot for the Eagles. I think they're going to run out of gas a little bit after that last overtime game. And I think the Niners come in, they get their revenge, 27-24 San Francisco.
Next, we've got for Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs are at the Packers.
Really hard. Do I ever pick against the Chiefs, Jack? Have I ever picked the Chiefs to lose a game? I mean, even when they lose, I don't pick them to lose, right? Like, we're all surprised when they lose. It's pretty remarkable. And that continues. I like what the Packers have done as of late, certainly, but I'm not going to pick them to beat the Chiefs. No way. Especially not the way the Chiefs defense is playing and the way the Chiefs offense played in that game against the Raiders. Kansas City is going to win the game, and I think it'll be 27-17 Chiefs.
And we'll wrap things up. Cincinnati Bengals are at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right. I like the Jags for all the reasons everybody knows. This is probably another decent one to lock up if you're still in one of those pools and you still need to have somebody to lock up. Jags playing really well right now. Now even Browning is on the injury report with like a wrist injury. That doesn't sound real good. Jacksonville 27, Cincinnati 17. I like the Jags to get to 9-3. So at the end of this weekend, we could have Ravens, Chiefs, Jags, Dolphins all 9-3. That would be juicy heading down the stretch. Other than that, I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out to myfrontpagestory.com. Are you guys kidding me that some of you haven't at least thrown your email address in there so you get the discounts that they'll send out in emails over the next couple of weeks? Myfrontpagestory.com. Then you got backofficescheduler.com, go-bengals.com, steakhousesports.com, humanheadnyc.com, Sporticulture, and Pizza Boy Brewing.